Hi everyone, now I'm going to be tying a small trout fly now, or a small dry fly. This is called the River Ranger. Now this was originally tied by a gentleman called Wayne Martin, and it's a nice wee dry fly. It's a nice wee small, it's quite a light dressed fly as a humpy goes, because usually humpies are quite reasonably, usually plenty of hackle, but then they're usually bigger. But when you come down to this is a size 16, you need to reduce the amount of material you're using. It's an interesting wee fly, so I'm going to give it a go. Now, the hook I'm using, as I say, is a size 16, and this one's from Fulling Mill. It's called Ultimate Dry and Black Nickel. Thread I'm going to be using to tie the fly is the Uni 80 in yellow. Now, I'm going to tie the wing in first. So I'm going to make sure my thread's waxed, so I've got plenty of grip. Start just at the eye, come down about halfway along the shank to that point, and then I'm going to remove the waist, come halfway back up, and that will give me the position for the wing. Now the wing of the fly is, in this case, this is Snowshoe Rabbit. Now in Wayne's dressing, he prefers to use the guard hair, so if you get close to the toe, the Snowshoe Rabbit, you'll find there's more guard hair than there is under fur, so it's like an ideal spot to get some. I'm just going to bring some out 90 degrees from the toe and cut it as close to the skin as I can, and then just remove the fine fluff. I say normally there's a lot more guard hair than there is fluff. Now tie it forward. Oops. Just going to pull away any long fibres. Just going to roll it. You'll get them all different lengths, so I'm just reducing it a wee bit. I think I've got a wee bit too much. If you get too much, it makes it harder to tie the fly, so just getting a nice balance. Just rolling it so I can see exactly how much I've got. It's very easy to take too much out. So anyway, I'm happy with that. So get the length round about, say, just short of the hook length. Pull these ones. So short of the hook length, tie it forward, nice and tight on the top, 2 or 3 turns more. A wee quick check, and if you're happy with the position where it is, then you can trim away the waist. I usually like to come over the top, and you want an angled cut, or a tapered cut, so that it tapers the body. And then again, make sure you have wax on your thread. Continue down the shank, tying in the wing. You can see the taper cut, it reduces. It gives you that nice taper into the hook. Now for the tail, I'm going to use, Wayne, he uses a deer hair. I'm not sure what one Wayne's using, but the deer hair I have, it's a wee bit weak. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to use some woodchuck, which is a stiff fibre. You could use hackle fibre, but you could use what you have, to be honest with you, because it's a nice wee dressing. So the woodchuck's it's got the colours of the deer hair. I'm just taking away the fluff. So you're looking at tail length, round about the hook length. Just tie that over the back. See there. Just check. Just checking the length. It's got a black tip there, it's quite hard to see the ends. But it's a nice length. So what I like to do is come underneath these fibres, pull towards the eye, and then do a turn on top. Basically what that does, it lifts the tail and flares them slightly. That's fine. Now, being a humpy, you need to tie a wee bit of deer hair, and this is white, just a white deer hair. You don't want too much in a fly this size. Now I'm going to tie it in close to the tips of the deer hair, which is the strongest part of the deer hair. So tips first into the stacker, tap it on your desk, obviously remove it from the stacker, should be lined up. Any broken ends, just take them away. As I say, you want to tie it close to the tips. Now it's quite fine, this deer hair, so I'm going to just take it back a wee bit so I get more of the deer hair. I catch it on the top with a turn, nice and tight. A couple just to see where we are. Make sure I'm right at the back of or right on top of the tail. Just going to come down with a wee turn, so another one to make sure it's going to stay there. Now, I've got a fine yellow floss. Now this floss I can split up into quite a fine, a couple of strands. So it's this is a marabou floss, this one for Pearsall's. You could use just the thread even if you want. I'm going to use this fine floss. The reason I'm tying it in at this point is to keep the dressing as fine as possible. So we come up, touch and turns with the thread. Just take your time tying in these materials. Right to about, say, you can see they've got a couple of tons of hackle going to be in here, so give yourself at least 1.5 mil or so. Then we check where I am with floss. And then we just basically work our way up. The floss will brighten up the body. As I say, you could just use the thread, but we'll use the floss. Get to the top, a wee quick look, and that'll do it. A couple of turns, trim away, and we're going to bring our deer hair over the back. So nice straight over the back with a turn, tighten up, a couple of more turns, see where we are, see how it's sitting. That looks okay. Then we remove the waist. I'm going to roll my wing here so I can trim away the deer hair. Now we're going to tidy this area up with dubbing, obviously, and tying our hackle. The hackle I'm using natural. This is a neck I have. This is basically a rooster cape. As they class it in whiting. It's a pro grade version, and it's just a brown. It's a nice brown. So the nice long hackles, nice dry fly hackles. So I've got one here. So I'm going to remove some of the fibres, reveal the stem. Make sure you wax your thread, catch it right on the side, and with the underside facing yourself. Now, in Wayne's fly, he uses a Fly-Rite, an olive Fly-Rite dubbing. I don't have that, so I'm just going to use an olive. This is just a squirrel dub, basically in the thorax area. So we're going to dub it on. This will tidy up and tie in the hackle as well. You're happy, lift the wing, but don't tie on it. Just put some dubbing in the front. Just going to roll it together just now. I've got our hackle at the back, so we want a couple of turns at the back. Just to see what the hackle's like. 3/2 turn more. Lift the wing back, and then we get a turn right in close to the wing. And then I'm going to do another one. And then I'm going to tie off. Just catch it on, so you want 3 or 4 turns. Trim away your hackle. And then just hold back the hackle to the wing at this point, and then I like to put a good 3 or 4 turns or more, have a whip finish in, tighten up, and trim away your thread. Any wee fibres, trim them away. You will catch the odd one. And there we are. That's basically the River Ranger. Wee fibre here, I'm just going to take this out. And it's, as I say, it's not overdressed. It's a nice dressing. Got a couple of wee fibres in the hackle. In the head area here. I'm just going to take them back. You will never miss every single hair, especially in a fly this small. It's quite hard to see, especially when I'm getting a bit old now, so seeing every fibre is getting hard. But all you have to do, I mean, I've got a fine varnish here. I just we touch right on the top of the head here, and that's enough to actually varnish it and seal it. So there we are. That's the River Ranger by Wayne Martin. As I say, a nice wee dressing, fun to tie. So I hope you enjoyed that, and thanks for watching.